Have you ever sensed that you were capable of more, yet still found yourself holding back? Many Christian women quietly struggle with this tension. You want to grow, speak up, and step into new opportunities, yet something inside tells you to stay safe, stay quiet, and avoid attention. What often feels like humility may actually be fear wearing a spiritual disguise. Playing small can feel comfortable because it protects us from criticism, rejection, and uncertainty. But God did not design your faith to keep you hidden. True humility does not mean shrinking your voice or ignoring the gifts God placed within you. In this episode, we explore why playing small feels safe, how fear subtly limits growth, and why faith always requires movement. Through biblical wisdom and practical encouragement, you'll discover how to walk forward with courage while remaining grounded in humility and obedience to God. Just as Esther stepped forward at the right moment and Peter stepped out of the boat in faith, God often calls us beyond comfort into purpose. This message is especially for Christian women navigating the workplace, leadership spaces, and seasons of personal growth where faith and courage must work together. In this video, you'll discover 1. The hidden fear behind playing small. 2. Why humility is not the same as silence. 3. Biblical examples of courage in uncertain moments. 4. What faith looks like in everyday workplace situations. 5. Practical steps to move forward without losing humility. 6. How to recognize when God is inviting you to grow. The hidden fear behind playing small. Many people believe playing small is humility. It looks responsible. It feels safe. It even sounds spiritual. You tell yourself, I don't want attention. I'll wait until I'm more ready. Someone else can do it better. But beneath these thoughts, there is often a hidden fear quietly shaping your decisions. Not laziness, not lack of ability. Fear. The fear of failing publicly. The fear of being judged. The fear of stepping forward and discovering that growth requires change. Playing small feels safe because it protects you from risk. If you never try, you never fail. If you stay quiet, no one criticizes you. If you avoid visibility, you avoid pressure. But safety can become a silent prison, because while fear protects comfort, it also limits purpose. Many talented, faithful women are not held back by lack of opportunity. They are held back by internal hesitation. You know you have ideas. You feel the desire to grow. You sense God calling you towards something greater. Yet you pause. You delay applying. You hesitate to speak. You minimize your contribution. And slowly, playing small becomes a habit. The danger is not that you lack faith. The danger is misunderstanding what faith looks like. Faith is not only trusting God in quiet places. Faith also moves when God invites you forward. 2 Timothy 1 verse 7 reminds us, For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Fear often disguises itself as wisdom. It says wait longer. It says stay unnoticed. It says don't risk change. But God's Spirit produces courage, guided by love and clarity, not shrinking. Consider Esther. She could have remained silent in the palace. Silence was safer. Speaking up carried risk. Yet her defining moment came when she realized comfort was not her calling. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this? Esther chapter 4, verse 14. Purpose often lives on the other side of discomfort. The hidden fear behind playing small is not just fear of failure. Sometimes it is fear of responsibility. Because stepping into your calling means accepting growth, visibility, and influence. It means trusting that God will sustain you where He leads you. And here is the truth many people need to hear. You do not honor God by hiding what He intentionally placed inside you. Your gifts are not accidents. Your voice is not random. Your desire to grow is not pride. It may be invitation. Humility does not mean pretending you have nothing to offer. True humility says, God gave this to me, and I will steward it faithfully. Courage does not mean absence of fear. It means choosing obedience while fear whispers in the background. When you stop playing small, something shifts. You stop asking, "What if I fail?" and begin asking, "What if God is leading me here?" Growth begins the moment you trust God more than your fear. You do not need perfect confidence. You do not need complete certainty. You only need the willingness to take the next faithful step. Because the same God who calls you forward also walks with you. And sometimes the breakthrough you are praying for is waiting on the other side of the courage you have been postponing. You were never created to live hidden by fear. You were created to walk in purpose with humility, faith, and bold trust in God. Why humility is not the same as silence. Many people believe humility means staying quiet, stepping back, or never speaking about their strengths. But humility was never meant to silence your voice. True humility is not shrinking yourself. It is seeing yourself the way God sees you. Silence often comes from fear. Fear of judgment, fear of rejection, or fear of being misunderstood. But humility comes from security, knowing your value is rooted in God, not in people's opinions. Jesus was humble, yet he spoke with clarity. He taught openly. He expressed truth boldly. He never hid his purpose to appear modest. Humility does not deny the gifts God placed inside you. It stewards them faithfully. When you remain silent in moments where wisdom is needed, the world may miss the light God intended you to share. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 26. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. Notice the virtuous woman speaks. You can be gentle and confident, respectful and clear, humble and visible. Your voice is not pride when it is guided by purpose. Sometimes honoring God means speaking not to elevate yourself, but to serve others with the truth, insight, and strength He placed within you. Humility is not silence. Humility is obedience. And obedience sometimes sounds like courage spoken out loud. Biblical examples of courage in uncertain moments. Courage in the Bible was rarely born from certainty. Most people God used stepped forward without knowing the outcome. Esther approached the king without a guarantee of safety. David faced Goliath before victory was visible. Peter stepped out of the boat while the storm was still raging. None of them moved because circumstances were secure. They moved because they trusted God more than their fear. Joshua chapter 1 verse 9. Be strong and courageous, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Biblical courage is not the absence of uncertainty, it is obedience in the middle of it. God often reveals the next step, not the entire path. When you wait for perfect clarity, you may remain stuck. But when you trust God enough to move, faith becomes action. The same God who strengthened Esther, guided David, and upheld Peter walks with you today. Your uncertain moment may actually be the doorway to your purpose. Courage begins when faith takes one step forward, even while questions remain. What faith looks like in everyday workplace situations. Faith is not only expressed in prayer meetings or church services, it is lived out in ordinary moments at work. Faith looks like choosing integrity when shortcuts are easier. It looks like responding with patience when pressure rises. It looks like doing your work with excellence even when no one is watching. Sometimes faith is quiet consistency. Showing kindness to a difficult colleague. Remaining honest when compromise would benefit you. Trusting God while waiting for recognition or promotion. Colossians chapter 3 verse 23. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord. Your workplace is not separate from your spiritual life. It is one of the places where your faith becomes visible through your character. Faith at work does not always mean preaching. Often it means reflecting Christ through attitude, wisdom, and integrity. Every email sent with grace, every decision made with honesty, and every challenge handled with peace becomes a quiet testimony. God can use your daily work as ministry. Because faith is not only what you believe on Sunday, it is how you live from Monday to Friday. Practical steps to move forward without losing humility. Growth and humility can walk together. Moving forward does not mean becoming proud. It means becoming faithful with what God has given you. Start by recognizing your gifts without minimizing them. Acknowledging your strengths is not arrogance, it is stewardship. Speak with clarity, not superiority. You can share ideas, express goals, and accept opportunities while remaining respectful and teachable. Stay rooted in purpose, not approval. When your motivation is to serve God and help others, success does not change your heart. Continue learning. Humility grows when you remain open to correction and committed to growth. Micah chapter 6, verse 8. Act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. Walking humbly does not mean standing still. It means moving forward while staying dependent on God. Pray before decisions. Give credit to others. Serve even as you grow. True humility is not shrinking back. It is advancing with a heart that remembers where your strength comes from. You can rise, lead, and step into new opportunities without losing humility. Because humility is not about staying small. It is about staying grounded in God. How to recognize when God is inviting you to grow. God's invitations to grow are often quiet, but they are unmistakable when you pay attention. Sometimes growth begins with a holy discomfort, a feeling that where you are is no longer where you are meant to remain. What once felt comfortable starts to feel limiting, not because something is wrong, but because God is preparing you for more. You may notice new desires forming. A desire to learn, to speak up, to try something new, or to step into greater responsibility. Growth invitations often come disguised as challenges. A new opportunity that feels bigger than your confidence. A responsibility that stretches your ability. A door that opens before you feel fully ready. God rarely calls people after they feel completely prepared. He grows them through the process. Isaiah chapter 43, verse 19. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? Another sign is persistent peace mixed with nervousness. You may feel stretched, yet deep inside there is a quiet assurance that God is leading you forward. When God invites you to grow, fear may speak loudly, but purpose speaks consistently. Growth is not punishment. It is preparation. If you feel challenged, stretched, or gently pushed beyond comfort, it may not be pressure. It may be God inviting you to become the person He already sees you as. And your next step of faith could be the beginning of that transformation. Your workplace may not be accidental. It may be the very environment where God wants your voice, your wisdom, and your faith to shine. If this message encourages you, remember to like, share, and subscribe to support faith-based encouragement for Christian women seeking growth, purpose, and confidence through God. Thanks for watching. I will see you on the next video.